Hey, is this Bobby?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's good to hear from you. This is Garrett with the Smoky Mountain News.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm sitting right here with my phone. I sat here 30 minutes waiting on you to call, and I sat right here and went to sleep.
It's
I didn't hear that. Man, I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, that's all good. Well, I guess just to start, we're doing a story about the 50th anniversary of the song Rocky Top. And I was curious how that all came about with the Osborne Brothers recording that song. How did you find it, and what was it about the song that you liked to take it into the studio?
Well, we were scheduled to do a session of records. We recorded for Decca Records at that time. We were scheduled the next day to do a session. We only had three. Back those days, you tried to get 4 songs within a session record. It's 3 hours, So we liked one song having enough. And Sonny, we lived pretty close to Boudleaux and Felice Bryant, And Sonny, we had recorded a lot of songs of theirs in the past, but Sonny just happened to go over to the house and ask them if they had any songs that we could listen to. We needed a song for the following day, and so Boudleaux they brought out Rocky Top, and he only had it about halfway finished at that time. So Sonny called me and he said you ought to drive over here and see, listen to the song. He said I think we could make us a good song. So I went over and listened to it. Well, before that we had recorded a song that the Osborne Brothers recorded called "Roll by the River," and they recorded that song, and it was a different arrangement on it than what we recorded later. Well, what they did, they sung it fast and played the music slow. If that means anything to you.
Yeah.
But then when they asked us to record it, so we just changed it around and played the music fast. When we sang it slow and played the music fast,
Yeah.
So that made it our song then. So then when I heard Rocky Top, Boudleaux was singing Rocky Top the same way, Rocky Top, da, 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 just real slow, And I got thinking, boy, if we could speed that song up and play it like we did Roll My River, that would make it good. But so I asked Boudleaux about it, and he said, "Well, I don't care how you do it." He said, "If you want to." So, but and we're scheduled the next day to do a session. So I told him, I said, "Well, if you can finish it," I said, "we just take it to the studio and see if we could get to record it." And he went ahead and finished it, and he finished it that day, and we learned the melody to it, and got all the words, and we took it to the studio the next day and recorded it, and that was exactly how we did that. Of course, we did the other 3 songs before we got to Rocky Top, and we were signed at that time. We were signed with Surefire Music, which was owned by the Osborne Brothers, and naturally they wanted us to do all Surefire songs, because that Surefire was the name of their publishing company. So Teddy said, "Well," he said, we'd rather you do all Surefire songs, instead of anybody else publishers that publish the songs." So I said, "Well, this, we'd like to do this one here." And so Teddy says, "Well," he said, "we're good friends of Boudleaux and Felice Bryant." He said, "So go ahead and do it." So we got to do it that way. So we recorded it. He kind of laid down for about 6 months when it came out. That's all of a sudden it took off. In the meantime, I thought, well, if we're not going to sing it in it much, why I just won't do it anymore. I forgot the words to it. I just the lyrics just got completely away from me. So all of a sudden it took off, and people got to want to hear it, and requesting it and all that. So I had to learn the words to it again. I had to look at the paper and sing the words off until I learned it again. That's a true story of it.
So did you know the Bryants very well?
Yeah, we had recorded. We met them. Before they started the Bryant Publishing Company, but they worked for Acuff Rose, and they wrote a lot of songs through Acuff Rose, and of course, by the time they found out that they could do real well at publishing, and so they started the Bryant Publishing Company, and so but we met them while they were signed with A-Cuff Rose, and when we first started recording for MGM Records, while we came to Nashville, and of course we didn't know anybody or any songs to record or anything like that, so Boudleaux and Felice they worked for A-Cuff Rose, so we got acquainted with them there, and we recorded a whole bunch of their songs. I mean, and at one time we did that album. We did Rocky Top to Muddy Bottom. We recorded 20 songs of theirs, just all on that one album.
What were they like as people? What sticks out when you think about them?
Oh goodness, they were just some greatest people. I mean, you always think about people that you meet, you know, if they're friendly or if they're just one-way type of person, or just you have to try to figure somebody out, you know, when you first meet them. They were just Boudleaux was from Georgia, and down right at the Piney Woods in Georgia, and Felice was from Wisconsin, I do believe. And how they got together, I don't know, you know. And of course, Boudleaux, he was a fiddle player, and he used to play with a guy by the name of Hank Penny years ago, and he recorded. And so they played in Atlanta, underground Atlanta, there for a long time. But he met Felice, and they started writing songs together and started having good luck with that. And of course, they signed with A-Cuff Rose, and they wrote a ton of songs with A-Cuff Rose. And so they found out they could do real well at writing songs, and they started their own company. And when Rocket Top came along, well, it was a Boudleaux Bryant Publishing Company song then. So we had a time trying to get to record it because it was a surefire
song. So, did you have a feeling about the song when you first heard it that it could be something?
Yeah. When Boudleaux just had it half finished, why? I remembered how we did Roll Muddy River, and I just thought, man, it would work perfect like that if we did it in that tempo and sang the lyrics to it that slow, you know, like that, just exactly like it is. So, I figured it would be just a great bluegrass song, and up tempo and everything. You know, at that time we was having good luck with up tempo songs.
Did the Bryants ever tell you anything about the background of how that song came about, or what they were thinking of, or what the theme was, how that all came about?
I don't think they ever mentioned. And they were had to go to Pigeon Forge in Gettysburg was, and in this one room that they stayed in at the Gatlinburg Inn. So they had some of the songs that they wrote there. They were million sellers. You know, they did real good, and so they got to the point when they went to write, when they was going to write some songs. They wouldn't go anywhere but to Gatlinburg and stay in that one room up there because they had good luck writing songs there. So Rocket Top was written, most all of it was written right in that room in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Do you know what room number that was?
Not right offhand, I can't remember, but I mean I could find out for you, I guess. But I'll say this about that room. We played up there one time. We played right there at the Gatlinburg Inn, and right out in a kind of little outside type thing. Well, Boudleaux's and Felice's two boys, Dell and Dane Bryant, well, they were there that day, and so when we drove up and parked, well, the man came out of the motel, and he said, "Which one of you is Bobby?" And I told him I was. He said, "I've got." He said, "I've got rooms for all of you," but he said, "I've got a special room for you." You know. Well, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what any. I wouldn't look for anything special, you know, or anything like that. But and I said, "Well, okay." So they took me up to that room, and that was the room where Boudleaux and Felice stayed all the time. Anytime they was there, they stayed in that room. And when I went inside the room, and got all my mandolin and everything, and went in there in the room. I got to look around on the walls, and they had a sign up on the wall in there. Said, this is the room where Rocky Top was written.
Did you feel the energy in there?
It felt strange for a little bit, but I got to looking around in the room, and I tell you, of course, that was years ago, and this has only been about 2 or 3 years ago since we played up there. So I got to look around in the room, and the furniture, it wasn't up to date furniture. It was just old timey furniture you seen that was around years ago, So I thought, man, what's going on here? I thought, wow. I went downstairs and asked the guy. I said, how come that room don't have new furniture in it? I didn't care because I used about anything anyway. So he said, well, that was the room that Bootlegg Police always rented when they came here. And he said they wouldn't stay in any other room because they had good luck writing songs there. And he said when they passed away and everything, why, we secured that room and nobody has stayed in it since. And he said, you're the first one that's ever stayed in that room since they passed away. And so I looked around, and it was an old-timey bed, that they had. And all that. So I was just, man, I got my cell phone out, and I took pictures all around the room.
What year was that when you stayed in there?
It was.
What year was that when you stayed in there?
I don't know. I felt kind of funny in a way just to stay in that room, because that was the room they stayed in all the time.
Yeah. How many years ago was that?
Oh, it's just only been about 3 years ago.
Okay. Now with Rocky Top, it's 50 years old this year. What does that number mean to you? That song still resonates 50 years later with so many people?
Oh, there's songs that we were singing before Rocky Top was written, but I don't know. Being at Rocky Top has become the state song, and I've been over to UT twice and sung it at the football game at the 50-yard line. It's just things like that. It's such a special song, and when anywhere that we played, when Rocky Top got to be real popular among different types of people and different types of music, and so we just got to where if we didn't do Rocky Top about 20 minutes down into our show, people would start hollering for us right there. So at one time we got to where we opened the show with it and then closed with it too,
What